What is up, all you freaks out there? This is Ryan with my special guest host, Dana, who's going to be having a show on the channel here coming up in the next year, coming up in January. We're going to have her joining the Vibe Radio Network. Very exciting.
Very soon.
Very exciting stuff. How are you?
Pretty good. Can't complain, except for the chaos that's going on all around me. But
no, there's always chaos around here. That's what makes life fun, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
So how have you been?
Not too bad. Just same old, same old.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Of course, it would be remiss not to wish everybody a very happy National French Toast Day.
Oh, it was French Toast Day?
It is French Toast Day. Not that I have to tell you that, obviously. You know, everyone knows it's French Toast Day. I got all my French toast cards out in the mail and stuff.
Oh, okay. So I should be expecting one?
You should be. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
About a day or two.
Yes. Check your mail.
Okay.
It should be in the mail. Your French Toast Day card. Did you get your National Orgasm Day card yet? I sent you.
I did.
Good.
I did.
Good. I put a lot of thought into that one.
I know, you got to look really long and hard for those.
Did you tell your husband about that?
Yes, I did.
You got some work to do, buddy.
I was like, guess what today is?
That's definitely a day worth celebrating. Right there.
Oh, yeah. Everybody should celebrate it.
Yeah, exactly. It should be every day.
Yes.
Every day. Oh, man. So, last night was rough. I got to admit. Last night was rough. I take Ambien to fall asleep. And Heaven and Sarah, they're in the queue right there. I see them. Hey, guys. Hey. I told them, like, look, I ran out of Ambien. So I took some, what is it called? Trazodone, I think it's called.
Okay.
And since I have ADHD, apparently that is the exact opposite effect on me.
Oh, I know where this is going.
God, I was like, why am I not getting tired? Why do I feel like I just took a shot of Red Bull? I mean, I had this, like, you know how you get excited? You get this, like, feeling in your stomach. Hey, Rhonda. Yeah. Hey, Sean. And you just get, like, pumped.
Yes.
And or if you eat too much sugar or something, you just get, like, super.
And you get those, like, buzzies. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, how am I supposed to? I can't even, like stand still. Long enough to fall asleep.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. But Ambien doesn't do that to you, because
Ambien is fine. Yeah, Ambien works fine.
Yeah, because I know with ADHD, like usually anything that brings normal people, like non-neurodivergent people down, neurotypicals, it will bring them up, and Ambien works for everyone.
Well, I mean, it works for me. I just ran out of it, so I had to use the Trazodone.
I used to take Ambien years ago. Crazy dreams.
I never had that. I don't think I've had it. You know, of course, I was sleepwalking. I wouldn't know it. You know, I'd wake up in bed. I could have driven downtown, gone to a bar, had a few beers, came back, and I didn't even realize it.
Oh my God! Yeah.
If I have, no one said anything to me about it though. Sometimes I'll
just saving all the video.
Yes. Yeah, keep an eye out for that video along with your French Toast Day card.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for that.
I was singing I can't remember as a kid, you know, hang on the tree, singing French Toast Day, you know, carols with your family and stuff, and, you know, giving away presents, you know, some little balls of maple syrup, you know. You got to keep the tradition alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what is so good about French toast? It makes your house smell good.
It does. It really does.
The cinnamon, the maple syrup. You know what else makes your house smell good? Dutch
What?
country candles makes your house smell good. It just so happened that Dutch Soy Country Candles sponsor Paranormal Show.
And I can attest, they absolutely are amazing. I think, I don't know, I bought an insane amount of them and I still have them.
Yeah, I use them all the time. I had the chocolate brownie one going in my jack-o'-lantern. Well, it was a ceramic jack-o'-lantern, not like a real one.
Mhm.
And it smells so good.
And they burn so clean too. Like I love that natural soy wax. Like it doesn't get all the soot around it.
All
And they've got
natural,
good
yeah.
wicks.
And it's a small business. Our friend Jeff Dangler, it's his daughter that does the candles. I almost said our friend Kippa Crew. That's not right. Our friend Kippa Crew does it. Yep. Bar Bootsy, that is the Dutch Soy Country Candles. Look them up on Facebook. Tell them Ryan and Dana sent you.
Yeah, Barb, I can send
sure
you the
that'll
link
make a
if you don't
difference or
find them.
Yeah, but it's a good gift for your family. It's a good gift for you. You know, everyone's a pretty clean smelling house, right? I know Heaven and Sarah want some. They're all about that candle life.
Oh, the teak one. Yeah, the teak one's good.
Yeah. So you've got so if I start spacing out or
Trazodone.
yes, well, no, it's a lack of sleep. Hopefully the trazodone's not there anymore. But if I start starting off into space, I apologize for that. But I was like, I don't even want to drink caffeine before the show because then I'll be up all night again.
You don't take coffee naps?
No.
Because I am, to my knowledge, I'm not ADHD, but coffee makes me go to sleep.
I drink coffee in the morning. It wakes me up, but in the afternoon, it doesn't really do much for me. I have a hard time taking naps. Just to have a hard time settling it down long enough to take a nap because I'm always thinking, think about what I need to be doing and stuff. But maybe I should try taking a coffee nap and see if that works.
Yeah, I can drink a whole big thing of coffee and go right to bed.
You're also making me sleepy talking about naps. I'm sorry. We'll talk more about French toast. How about we talk about ghosts? That sounds like a fun thing.
That works for me.
A fun topic to talk about. How about we talk to the girls from Pungo Paranormal Investigators? Let's bring on Sarah and Heaven. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
Hello, Heaven.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Thank you again for taking the time to talk to us on National French Toast Day. I realize it's a big day in your families and stuff. And again, tell your family, I know they're over there eating the French toast. Tell them we're sorry. We'll keep you for a little bit.
It's okay. It's okay.
Mhm.
They're gonna save me some.
Okay, good.
Okay.
That's
Did
a
y'all
loving
have
family
French
right there.
toast
Got to make sure that, you have to have it breakfast, lunch, and dinner today. We just didn't want to keep you from your dessert and your dinner too long. Sorry about that.
That's really why I couldn't sleep. I was so excited about French Toast Day. I was just up all night. Is it time yet? Come on, wake up. Is it time yet?
Like a little kid waiting for Santa.
It's French Toast morning. It's French Toast morning.
You know who has some really good French toast?
IHOP, maybe? I don't know.
Burger King.
Oh, yeah, the little French toast sticks.
And they're vegan.
Yes,
Ooh, nice.
they're so good.
They're so yummy. They're so good.
I used to go out of my way
They're so good.
to a Burger King on the way to work just to get those in the morning.
Oh my
I
god.
forgot how good those are.
God, if there was a Burger King next to me, all of the Burger Kings next to me have shut down weirdly. I don't know why.
Most of
What's up
them
with
are.
Burger King?
Isn't that
Yeah.
weird?
I actually have 2 in driving distance of me.
Really?
Yes.
We had 2, but both of them shut down.
There's 2 near us, but we don't really go to them.
It's like Burger King is there, just no one ever goes to it. It's like Burger King is turning into Hardee's.
Yeah.
Yep,
And
definitely.
Hardee's is there. It's always empty, but it's still there. It's like it's the little engine that could. It's just
It's like Shoney's.
yeah.
It's
but
like
Shoney's.
you
Orange.
know people are going in there because they're still open,
Yeah.
but either they're invisible, they're ghosts, or you just keep missing them. I don't know, one or the other.
The ghost.
Yeah, the both people who went there got old and died, and they're still going there. It's like
Their spirits
They're
are there.
residual
They're
hauntings,
spending their
ordering the
ghost
same thing
money.
over and over again.
Standing at the register counting out their pennies.
Exactly.
Being at Dollar General too.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, is there
No.
ever clean in Dollar General?
We just
Always
investigated
stacked
a
with shit.
place,
Oh
that-
really?
a Dollar General that was haunted in
Oh yeah,
Petersburg.
yeah. Tell me about that. How that happened?
Heaven. She makes friends with anybody and everybody. So tell them the story about how it happened.
I walked into the Dollar General because Sarah had taken me to a gas station, and the gas station was really like dumpy, and people were sitting there playing like, you know, the lottery and stuff at the machines. And I was like, Sarah, I can't go pee here. I was like, let's go somewhere else. So we go to the Dollar General, and she's like, I'm gonna stay in the car. So I walk in and I'm looking around and I couldn't find it. So I went straight to the back and I saw a lady like grabbing a box of sweatshirts and stuff. And I was like, hey, do you work here? And she said, yeah. I said, can I go? Or I was like, can you tell me where the restroom is? And she was like, yeah, give me a minute. And then she was like, I like your booze. And I was like, what? She goes, I like your booze. And I'm like, oh. And she was telling me about how like her daughter, like I guess has a nickname and she buys her ghost stuff. And I was wearing this hoodie that has a ghost on it. And I was telling her, I was like, oh, I'm a ghost hunter. And I was like, ew, that sounds really weird. I was like, I'm a paranormal investigator. And she's like, are you really? And she was telling me about how historical it was there. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And she was like, hey, like this Dollar General is haunted. And I was like, no way, definitely isn't. And she was like, yeah. And so she showed me her like video camera of the back room and how like a cabinet door just like opened on its own. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I was like, well, I have equipment in the trunk. And she's like, do you really? And I said, yeah. So I was like, Sarah, come in. And she's like, I have to go to the bathroom anyways. So we got the rundown of Petersburg and the history, and we had this little area that was like the size of a box.
Oh my
to
God, it was
investigate.
so cramped. It was so bad.
So was it just the back room, or did they give you free reign on the whole store?
No, it was just the back room. That
Huh.
little, it's like a little lunchroom for like one person.
Yes. Some stock rooms are really small.
Yeah. And Heaven and I are both psychic mediums. Like I've my whole entire life have seen spirits and just craziness. And Heaven is working on her abilities. And she and I went in and she automatically picked up a female. And I was like, that's so weird. I don't pick up a female at all. Like I'm just like I feel men and like a child around me. And so we went into the room and automatically we started talking to a lady. And she was playing with the music box. And I would ask her questions and I would say, yes or no, yes, play with the music box, no, don't touch it. And I was like, are you a girl? And at first I said, are you a little girl? And like, she played with the music box. I was like, okay. And so then I was like, are you younger than 5? Are you older than 5? Nothing. Are you older than 15? Nothing. I said, are you older than 20? And it started playing with it. And so eventually we got answers. Like she was a nurse in the military. And that she loved it at Dollar General. Like she liked being there. She liked the people around her. And then what else came through? That little boy.
There was a guy, I think a little boy. A lot of the spirits were coming from an actual haunted mental hospital that we went to go check out. It was probably like 5 minutes down the street, if that. And we were hoping that, you know, we could check out the location and stuff. Nobody came and bothered us or anything. And we found out that like some of the spirits from there would travel back and forth. And then this lady was showing us all these other videos of different Dollar Generals down the street and how like the back doors were heavy and they would just fly open. And they were locked. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yeah.
so interesting.
It's crazy. Like Petersburg is just the whole entire town of Petersburg is haunted. Like it's like she was
A lot of
telling us.
history out there in Petersburg.
Yeah.
A lot of Civil War history.
That's what she was telling us.
Yeah.
Chris Panchero up here, he works at Pamplin Park, which is near Petersburg, I think. And there's a lot of spirits out there. Interesting that the spirit said she loves being at Dollar General. I guess you have to be dead to enjoy being at Dollar General.
Like she was commenting, she was like, the little
Oh, I
boys,
love it
like, I
here.
like being here. I like playing with the toys.
Aw.
And like
I can see that.
the toys kept like flying off of the shelves. And we were like, are you the one that's so the our
Lady that
EMF detector never went off. Like, and then it just started like flashing red, like, you know, the different colors. And so we started asking the spirit that. And then he came through the spirit box as well. Like he started talking to us through the spirit box. We were doing Estes method with Heaven. Heaven was doing the Estes
Petersburg is
method.
haunted.
Yeah. And like there was a little boy who liked playing with the toys and he'd always knock the toys off the shelf. And there was a man that loved that girl, the lady that worked there said that he liked her purple hair.
She talked to him all the time.
Mhm.
There we go.
We
Get
kind
it.
of, yeah, we eased like they were afraid and we eased their minds because they just, you know, they liked being there. They weren't, you know, scary. They just want to be talked to. They want people to talk to them and acknowledge them.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's all you need. Like
Exactly.
yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. So
I
that
was
was.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So
I
that
was just having that conversation with someone today. Actually, when I was going to get my hair cut with the stylist, I forget how it got mentioned. She's like, "Oh, are you doing anything tonight?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, you know, if you want to go online." But then we started talking about the paranormal because she was like, "What's the podcast about? Like, how did you get on there?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So, but I was like, she was telling me about her home and how she was expected. I was like, "Well, do you talk to them?" Like, majority of the time, that's really all you got to do, or at least from my experience.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
They're
people
just
have
people.
stories. They just need into like a cue to talk about them. A lot of people want to tell their ghost stories, but they don't sound crazy.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm the odd one that'll come out and just start talking to you about it, and people are just like, okay.
Why are you telling me this? I don't even
When
know
I
who you are.
first met Heaven, she told me about the little boy, the spirit of the little boy in her house. Like the first thing that she ever told me was like, I have a little boy living in my house. He's a spirit. It was so funny. It was so cute. But
I think I was trying to see if you would pick up and stuff on any of it because, like, I don't know too much about it. I found out 2 years ago, and so it was like I'm slowly getting little things from it.
yeah, we both. So I picked up on the name David, and then we did an investigation at her house a few weekends back. And through Estes method, he confirmed. So the name Robert is written on the back of the fireplace.
It was the flashlight because I always call him David too, and Josh is like, it says Robert.
And I was like, no, it's Dave. I had said David first, and she goes, David. I always call him David. And I was like, why do I keep wanting to call him David? And so he had confirmed with the flashlight, like the on and off flashlight, that his name is David. He goes by David. His first name is Robert, but he goes by David, which is his middle name.
And I think you did that on the Estes method too, and that's when I tapped you with the flashlight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was at your house or at the Dollar General?
No,
It
that's
was
at
at
her
the
house.
house in the
We did a
garage.
lot of investigation in the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
My
Thank you, CF,
house-
for being in the chat.
My house is haunted. It's always been that way. I used to see stuff when I was a kid, and then like my mom would see stuff, and no one really talked about it because my grandparents were like, "That's all BS."
Yeah.
Isn't that maddening? Like when you're seeing stuff as a kid and then someone just goes and discounts it? Because I used to
Oh, so much.
go through that all the time. And then I was like, wait, maybe I'm crazy.
I
Like,
did the same thing.
there's something wrong with me?
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I tell Sarah stuff. I'm like, I second guess it, and I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, just go with it, like, you know.
You need to like as soon as it gets to your head, don't like second guess yourself. Like that's how they're trying to communicate with you.
No, I fully agree. When I first started out, I was the same way as Heaven. So I'd be like, they'd be like, oh, hi, give me your impression on this. And I'd be like, this is what I got. But when you think about it from a psychological standpoint or an evidence standpoint, blah, 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 and I would totally discount anything I got.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the first time I met Sarah was at the cabin on 360. They had come out for an investigation. It was just her and I for like the first like 20 minutes. And I think like within the first 10 minutes of the conversation we were having, you felt the energy of the little girl on the property. And she just starts crying out of nowhere. And I'm wondering what it's like to feel that much emotion come over you and not be able to control yourself. Has it happened before? Is it something that happens to you all the time? What is that like?
So I am the kind of person that I don't like doing any research before I go to a location. I don't want anything clouding my judgment or anything like, you know, am I really thinking this or is it something that I read? And so that's what I did with Cabin on 360. I literally I didn't research that a thing. And so I get feelings, I get visions, and I see spirit, but I only see spirit when they want me to see them. So it's not like people think that it is something that, you know, I could just see them just walking all around all the time. That's not how it works. Like they need to give you permission. They need to show you themselves, you know, and they're almost like an energy that certain people can see. When I see them, I tell Heaven all the time, when I see them, it's like they are like bright, super bright, like they're standing in the sun, like glowing, glistening. Especially at night, like when I'm sleeping, a lot of them like to come in and just scare the fucking shit out of me. Excuse my language. Like they scare me so much. Not in a bad way. A lot of them like apologize to me, but I had to set my grounds and tell them that they're not allowed to do that. There are some people that do come in there that don't care and like what I say, but you know, for the majority of the part. But so for the ones that do show me themselves, they look like they're standing in the sun. They're very glowy. Some of them are like black and white. Some of them are full color. Some of them are shadows. When I hear them, it's almost like a thought that pops in my head, but it's not me thinking. Like I've never, you know, I'm not thinking this. It just pops in my head. And then I've just learned to say the things that pop in my head. And like, usually they're right. Like it's
Is it your voice you're hearing in your head or is it somebody else's voice?
Correct. It's somebody else's voice. Like when Heaven and I were in the car and her papa and her dad visit me quite frequently. Her papa has become my best friend. They're both gone.
It's because he thinks she's hot. It's totally his personality. My grandfather's such a flirt.
But when we were in the car, and also all spirits communicate differently. They don't communicate the same way. At least they don't do it with me. Like her papa, her grandfather is a talker. He talks nonstop. And
Where do
he
you think I got it from?
he talks about like the funniest things, and like he told me about his life story when I first met him, just like in spirit. But he told me like, you know, how he was a ladies' man, and you know, his baby girl is his everything. And like I was telling Heaven all of this stuff, and she was like, there's no way that you would know any of this stuff. Like, there's no way. And I'm like, dude, it's because he's telling me this stuff. But her dad communicates in a totally different way. He shows me pictures, like flashes of different things. And then I see him, but I see him, he doesn't talk to me like her grandfather does. I just see him, and then I have flashes of different things, and it's like a puzzle that I'm trying to put together.
That's how I used to see things when I was little. Those pictures.
Yeah.
Isn't that how you saw it, Dana? Was through pictures and
Very similar to what Sarah's describing. Pictures, either actually clairaudiently hearing the voices, or sometimes it just being a word in my head that's not, like, it just communicates, pops in there, and it's not like, doesn't really have a voice at all. It's like very separate from your own inner monologue.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what I get sometimes.
Yeah. And then the actual, like, the pictures and the puzzle pieces, because I swear they like to talk to me in riddles sometimes.
Yeah.
you can't be straightforward, can you?
What does this mean? I don't work with subtlety. Like, you got to be blunt with me.
Yeah, that's the reason why, like, her grandfather and I are like best friends. Like, he will literally sit here and talk my ear off. Like, he's just the sweetest, most kindest man in the world, but he's also a huge flirt, even like on the other side.
You say
It's
you'd be an
so funny.
asshole in real life, you'll be an asshole in death. If
Probably.
you're horny in real life, you'll be horny in death.
So the funny thing is my grandfather was like a huge redneck, and just he was hilarious, and he definitely liked to talk, and he had a sense of humor, but he was also very stern. And it's just so funny because everything she explained about him was to a T, but like only certain people would see that side of him. Because, you know, in front of his guys, like, he would smoke and drink and talk about cars and ladies and, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
Now,
He's
Heaven, what you saying, like, that you were just like starting to come into your abilities and like learn how to use them. What initially, because you said 2 years ago that it all started, like, what was that moment for you that made you be like, hey, I might be gifted?
So when I was little, I used to see stuff. I would see like shadow figures and stuff. And I've had multiple people that were mediums that weren't even in the area. I have a friend who lives in California, and like we just became friends over like social media and stuff. Like, she's never actually met me in person, and stuff that I had seen, she was seeing. And this is stuff that like only a couple of people knew, but she was explaining to me about the left of me in my room one day, and she was like, it's not in your room, it's in the other room. And she was telling me all this stuff, and she was like, your son's room, the closet, is a portal. And that's where I had seen the shadow figures when I was little. And so, like, I mean, over time, like, I pick up stuff now, but like when my dad passed, I was like, you know, I've always been interested in like the paranormal and stuff, like, let me get into that. And so that's kind of like what gave me, I guess, like my spiritual awakening.
So how did you guys get started in the paranormal, as far as your team and investigating?
So
we actually met at the cabin that night that you met Sarah, Ryan.
yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
So we had actually been in another group, and then we decided to form our own group just to like, because we bonded so quickly,
Mhm.
and that that's never happened before. Like we had never met each other. We just like talked over Facebook and like video chatted, but we hadn't met in person until the cabin. And her and I like clicked instantly.
We always joke. We say that we're each other's puzzle piece.
Mhm. Yeah.
Stuff that she picks up on, I'll pick up on something different, and vice versa. And
I thought you guys were friends for a long time.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know if you believe it or not. Some people do, some people don't. I believe in past lives. And so I had mine read, and they had told me that Heaven was my sister in a past life, and we were both witches, like from like Salem. And so like it just like it clicks because when we first met, it was like I had reconnected with my best friend. If that makes any sense. Like it was never like a there was nothing that felt awkward or weird, if that makes any sense. Like it was just like a connection, like a click, like my puzzle piece is there.
That and then like prior to meeting each other, she was on a team in Maryland years ago, and Josh and I would just kind of book locations and go and investigate and stuff. So like we've been investigating for years. It's just we just decided to finally form our own group because the one we were a part of, you know, kind of did their own thing, and it just wasn't really, I guess, working out as we hoped it to.
Yeah. Yep.
And plus,
go ahead.
You know, all the stuff you went through at the cabin, you know, that would definitely bring people together, because you left the cabin, but apparently the cabin did not leave you.
No, it did not. Woo! So
I was saying I needed to go to this cabin, but I don't know.
No.
It's still worth it.
Yeah, it's very worth it. It's you definitely need to have Dennis with you, or like contact Dennis afterwards, because
and then also I might be part of, I don't know, like it's weird. I told Sarah that I'm starting to notice that I'm kind of like a sponge, and even if I tell spirits not to follow me, they tend to do it anyways.
Yeah.
Because like I just recently went to the convent tattoo shop, and they said that their spirits, like they tell them like they're not allowed to leave. Something followed Josh and I, and then after on the way back home and stuff, it went back. So I mean, we saged and everything, but I told her, I said, I feel like, you know, the spirits tend to follow me.
Yeah, and
sometimes they don't listen.
Yeah, no. But
and you got to create strong energetic boundaries, as well as doing like other practices. But
yeah,
some don't listen.
I know. I come home for investigation. Angie's over here, and I'll come home and she'll be in bed. I'll walk in there, and she'll be like, "Get out!" I'm like, "Oh shit, what did I do?" Oh, she's pissed at me. And no, I've got a straggler that decided to come home with me from the cabin, so I've got to go back outside and tell whoever it is that it needs to come home.
Yeah.
Or needs to come home. So
we don't know if it was the thing from the rancher, like in the basement, that followed us home. Because both of us, it was hiding itself from us for the majority of the part. Like it just appeared as like shadows, and it would just do the most craziest things over here. Like when Diane and Bella, my wife and my daughter, came home, because they had came to the cabin with us, and then they had left shortly after, and I had cleansed them. When they came home, the door unlocked by itself, and the porch light came on. No one did that. Like she was about to put the key into the door, and it unlocked itself, opened, and the light went on. And so when
almost like it's being helpful.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, you know, maybe it was nice because my house is very haunted, like
Mhm.
extremely haunted, but nothing like that has ever happened before. And then like crazy things would happen. Like I would hear things. I would, you know, I would sense like this house is not my house anymore. Like something was occupying it that I did not like. I would see it when I was sleeping, like in the corner. I would open up my eyes and it would just be like crouched down in the corner of the room. And so I told Heaven, and so I completely cleansed my house from top to bottom, cleansed it. And then,
At first, you didn't even tell me anything was at your house. You just said you were gonna cleanse it because I told you that I had
I
seen
didn't
like
want
a
to hear
shadow.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw a shadow
Mhm.
figure in my living room.
Yeah. And then it went over to Heaven's house, and it was at Heaven's house. And then it came back over to my house. It was like, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And her father and her grandfather kept warning me about it. Like, there's something that's attached. You need to warn Heaven. And so during the investigation at the house, at her house, Heaven's house.
Oh wait, can I tell them something real quick?
Yeah, yeah.
So when she was saying that, all she said to me was, "Hey, your grandfather is in the house with you." And I had just heard walking up and down the hallway. I was home by myself. Bryson was in school, Josh was at work, and my dog was in my room, laying on the floor. And he got up right when she said that and stood at the door and was like making a noise at it. And I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my gosh, like my grandpa's definitely here."
Yeah. So when Heaven and I were doing the investigation at her house in her garage, her father came through, and her father likes to communicate with the what is it called?
Mag lights, but as well
Yeah,
as
the mag lights and stuff like that, like the trigger objects. And he was just telling us, like, there's something that followed you. You need to go do something about it to get it off of you. He was afraid of us going back to the cabin. Like he
yeah.
kept telling us not to. And then the thing came through while we were there and started communicating. It first did it because I was doing the Estes method with the Delco goggles, and she was asking me questions, and it was like, "You fucking bitch, fuck you. I want to murder you." Just watching the
Stuff you usually get
scene.
at the cabin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like Heaven was like, "Did you follow us from the cabin?" And because I watched the video, I didn't hear any of this. I watched the video. It said yeah, and then the yes no trigger object
The
lit up
fuck?
the yes, and then the flashlight lit up, and then the rope up above me started swaying back and forth, and then Heaven got scratched.
So there's a light that was above us, like one of those what are they called? It was just a light on the ceiling, but the cord was hanging down. We normally attach like extension cord to it to turn it on, just for
Mhm.
extra lights. So the cord was just hanging down, and all of a sudden when she was doing the Estes method, like I could tell like she wasn't even near it, and it just starts going like this. And then I was like, I think something's touching me, and I went like this, and I told her to take her goggles off. And then all of a sudden I was like, dude, I got scratched. Like I felt burning, and I was like, look at it.
I have the video of literally the welts, 3 welts forming on her back on the video itself.
So your house this is Heaven's house
That's
or
Heaven. Heaven's
Heaven's
house
house?
is haunted. My house is haunted.
So
Both of
it
our
was in the
houses
Did the stuff
haunted.
that was happening in the house before, was it just kind
No.
of mild stuff? Like,
yeah.
nothing that where it was really interacting with you?
Mhm.
So my thing is like I know the house is haunted, but I don't want to like stir up anything. So I was like, we can go in the
Mhm.
garage because we've got EVPs in there and stuff. And she was like, "Are you
Yeah.
sure you want to do your house?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure." So we did it in the garage, but my house, like things like the remote will go missing, and if we put something in a certain spot, it'll be gone for days, and we know it, and stuff like that's always happened here. Or like you'll hear like taps or like walking and
The same thing with my house. Yeah.
But nothing like stuff swinging or scratches and shadow figures.
No.
That started after the investigation at the cabin.
And her house was previously cleansed and like
Yeah.
protected. So like the fact that this thing had gotten through, like it's powerful. And I had told Heaven, I said, I believe that it's something native. Like I don't believe it's a demon. I don't believe that it's like I don't believe it's a person. And so when Dennis and I were talking about it, because we had gone back to the cabin the
Yeah.
day after, like the day that we had done the Petersburg and the Dollar General, we had gone back to the cabin to get this thing
she-
off of us
Yeah, she told me that my dad had said that it was fine for us to go to hear what Dennis had to say because we kept getting Dennis on the Obulus like all day.
all day. Like I kept saying, Dennis, Dennis, Dennis.
Yeah, because you were insistent on not going. You're like, I don't
We
feel
were like, we're
safe.
not
I'm
going
like,
back
dude,
until I could figure out how to get
you've-
this shit off of me.
And I knew the only way for you to get the shit off of you would be to come out there. So I'm glad, your dad said something to you, and you kept getting Dennis on the Ovilus, because I'm not sure you would have come any other way.
No,
But
we
I also
wouldn't
knew
have.
again that it would have. That's the only way to
Yeah.
really get them off you, is to face it.
Yeah. Did you ever show Ryan the video clip of my dad coming through in an EVP in Melissa's room?
No, I want to send it to him
Oh,
though.
I need to see that.
It was
Both of
weird.
you too.
It was weird. I was doing the Estes method, but like when we were watching it and listening to it on the camera or on the computer, I was like, holy shit. And she's like, what? And I go, I don't know if that was Josh or my dad. I was like, that sounds like my dad. And then Josh just got off work and came in, and Sarah was like, hey, listen to this. And he goes, that sounds like your dad.
And it goes, Heaven, I'm here.
And I think a big part of it is because I have a lot that like I can relate to with Melissa and stuff, and that's part of the reason why when we got to the cabin and went into the rancher, I was like, Josh, you need to stay at the cabin. Like Sarah and I need to go and have a conversation with Melissa first before you even go into her bedroom, just out of respect.
Yeah.
So when you came to the cabin, going back a little ways in our conversation, you came to the cabin, we were sitting on the front steps, and then you start getting really upset. What did you see
Me?
that made you feel that way? Was it just her emotions, or did you
It
see
was
something?
blood. Like I saw blood. The first thing that came to mind was blood. And then I could feel a hand grabbing my hand, and then immediately I started feeling her emotions. And I started feeling everything. That rarely happens to me. Like some people can feel how others have passed. I don't. So that's something that I've never really felt before, other than that day, was that feeling. I started feeling things that weren't right,
Mhm.
And so and then immediately I knew it was the little girl. I could hear her saying, help me, help me, help me. I could feel like just I'm shaking right now, just talking about it. I could feel the emotion coming off of her, and just like the amount of pain that she had gone through, and it screwed me up. Like I felt like I was going to pass out. Like I was on the front steps, and my head was spinning, and then it would go away, and then it would start up again. Like I would just hear the screaming, help me, help me, help me, help me. And then I started getting pain in my chest, and in my gut, and in my groin. And so that was intense.
It was tough to watch because, man, you see something, you're having a conversation, and of course you're not going to act like that. We just basically just met like 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And just to see you go through what you were going through, there's no way you can fake that, because it's real. The tears are real. You were just completely overwhelmed. And even like while I was there, like you didn't want to go inside the brick rancher.
It took a lot of convincing for me to go in there. And as soon as I went in there, I saw it standing in Randy's room, just staring at us. And go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I didn't even know you got emotional beforehand. Like, you kept that from me. I didn't even know.
I didn't want to say anything to you. I didn't want to scare you at all. Like, I
Girl,
wanted
I
you to
don't
be
scare
able to-
easily.
I know.
I don't scare
I know.
easily. I just don't like being in the dark, but I can see in the dark. So.
Yeah. But as soon as I went in there, I saw it, and it was like this tall, like 9-foot thing, like smile from ear to ear, just like huge, long chin, and like really long fingers, and it was just staring. And so the first thing that I picked up on in the rancher was Beelzebub. And I said that because Austin was like, you know, there was one word that it kept saying. One word that it kept saying. And I was like, was it Beelzebub? Because it's saying it right now. And he was like, what? Yes. That's exactly what it was saying to us. And that's what I kept getting. And then it kept messing with my flashlight in the kitchen. Do you remember that, Ryan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question about the Beelzebub because, like, I've noticed that anything that wants to scare you is going to use like certain buzzwords or trigger words.
Yeah.
I'm the devil, I'm a demon, and or like naming like one of the major demons. Like,
Yeah.
because you were saying you felt like it was more like something from the land.
So it's definitely something native. And
Yeah.
even Dennis said something too. He was like, it's native. It's not it's evil. It was brought up. So the cabin is located on native land, and that native land is like sacred native land. Like there's yucca plants everywhere. And so what I think is because of that war that happened, the Civil War that happened, all of that blood that was shed on that land had created something.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and the natives loved to bring upon protection of their land and curse whoever, did them wrong, kind of thing. And so I think that thing that is now settled in the rancher, in the basement of the rancher, is from that because it's old.
No, that
Like,
makes
it's older.
sense.
Yeah, it's older than anything I've ever experienced. Like I told Ryan, in I've been seeing spirits my entire existence of life since I was a baby to now. I have never experienced anything like that before. What movie was it that you showed me?
Black Phone.
Black Phone.
Oh, with that mask?
Yeah.
That is
She was
almost
talking
exactly.
So this
what
is
it
how
looked
Sarah
like.
and I work. She explained what it looked like, and I immediately knew what she was talking about. Like, that's just
Yeah.
how we work. And
No,
I sent her a picture, and she's like, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I get that because I'm sometimes like that with some people as well.
Mhm.
Where like I don't know, you just kind of like link into their brain,
Mhm.
and then they don't really need to speak. Like
Yeah.
they just
That's
need to
how
give
we
you
are
like
all
4
the time.
words, like black dog hat. And you're like this?
But that's how Heaven and I are all the time. Like she's like, I don't know, somehow wired to my brain. I'm
Mhm.
somehow wired to her brain.
I mean, your sisters,
Crazy.
right?
Yeah.
Puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
So I was telling Sarah, like, when we went to the orphanage, we didn't end up going because I guess I mixed the days up. But I was telling Sarah, like, right before we got there, I kept telling her, I was like, dude, I have the worst migraine. And as soon as I got like close to the area, I started getting like a migraine and nauseous. I felt like I had the flu. As soon as we left the orphanage, I was fine. It was weird. But I'm like that too. Like, I'm very empathic. So like I pick up on other people and yeah.
Yeah.
I find it different, how like amazing how like so many people, their abilities can work like so differently. Like it is one of the things that absolutely fascinates me. But because you were saying that like you both get different things, is it like you both get different things and come to the same conclusion, even though the information that you processed was like totally different?
Taking
Yeah.
different paths to
Kind
get
of
there.
like that. Like
Yeah.
when we were at the cabin, I kept telling her, I was like, there's an old man in this back bedroom. There's an old man. And she was like, no, like kept not wanting to go back
some of
there.
the things I don't pick up on, and she picks up on. Some of the things I pick up on, she doesn't pick up on.
And
I wonder if you
Josh
guys-
was, oh,
I
sorry.
wonder if you guys can see different planes. Like you're seeing stuff from a different level than she is.
Mhm.
Like you could be seeing stuff from like the Civil War era or something like that, and she sees something from the 1950s. So you see a man, but she sees a woman, but they're all basically in the same area, just different
And it,
planes.
yeah, and it
They're
also
distant.
depends on the person. Like some spirits are real. A lot of them, the majority of them, will show you who they are. Like there'll be 3 people in the room, right? 3 people.
Mhm.
It will pick one to show itself to,
Mhm.
and that one person will see it, and the other
Mhm.
2 won't. And it doesn't matter if you're a medium. You could be just like some Joe Blow off the road. It just depends on what the spirit wants you to see.
Yeah, I
Rhonda-
totally agree.
Rhonda
Bella-
here is saying both of them also vibrate at different frequencies, so they will pick up on different frequencies.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to because, like, for example, like if I go and investigate, if I do a walkthrough or review pictures or anything, investigate with Jeff, like he'll pick up on. He's like more in tune to like Native American energy, whereas I might pick up more on like the elemental or the earth spirits, things that aren't human or anything like witchcraft related.
Yeah.
Like various things like that. I'll pick that up. He'll pick his stuff up. We'll have all these completely different perceptions, but then we'll both come to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
Like, I got all this, and this is what
Yeah.
I think is going on. And I got something totally different, but it leads me to believe this is what I think is going
Yeah.
on here.
And
I just find it like so interesting. Like, I think that everybody's just tuned into a different frequency.
yeah.
Definitely.
And I'm Wiccan, so like it's I can also pick up on the witchcraft side of things, or like different things that have happened in different spaces.
Like that deity energy, the inhuman energy, things like that, that a lot of people don't tune themselves in for.
Like what I said, like that thing in the cabin I've never experienced before. I've never experienced something like that before. Like that is something brand new to me. But I
Are you
have
talking about the rancher?
Yeah, the rancher. But
The cabin property. That's,
the cabin property. But I have experienced different like deities.
Mhm.
And I have spoken to different things. Like Ryan knows things that I've told him.
Mhm.
I believe in aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Big time
Mm.
believe in aliens.
I believe in anything pretty much right now. It's hard to find something I don't
There are
believe in.
fairies outside. There's fairies outside. 100%.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
if
yeah,
you tell me
there's totally fairies
out there.
outside.
if you tell me the unicorns running around the forest behind the cabin, I'll be like,
Oh
all
my-
right, that's fine.
Oh my gosh, when we were walking to the rancher and we heard that weird pterodactyl noise, we were like, oh hell no.
Oh my God, this is
That's
We
what I was talking
ran.
about.
like it was like, ah! And we were like, what the fuck is that?
Josh was like,
And
you didn't even hear it.
Oh, and so our camera died literally the instant that voice came through, that scream came through. Our camera just like dipped. It was done. It was crazy.
Oh, my
And,
God.
like, so we did an investigation. Sorry, rambling. I'm so sorry.
What was the name that you picked up on in the rancher? Was it Beelzebub? Yeah.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean to interrupt. I was reading a question there.
No, it's okay. So we did an investigation in my house, and we're renovating a bedroom that we're about to move into. And there is a spirit in there, grumpy as old man.
That's what I
Those are
told her. Yep.
Yeah.
She already knew kind of the history, but I
yeah.
kind of picked up on some stuff.
Yeah. And so he visits me quite frequently, even though I tell him not to. But we had 3 cameras going at the same time, and all of a sudden, all 3 cameras back to back to back just shut off.
And we had one on a little stepladder, and I swear I heard it go a little bit and move, and
Yeah.
everything shut off. Yeah,
And then the laser went off at the same time. The
brand
laser
new
grid,
charged.
brand new charged thing just died. All of my batteries died. And then all of a sudden we started hearing banging coming from my living room.
And
Like some like cabinets were banging.
and she said she doesn't have cabinets, and I was like, Sarah, and we heard footsteps.
It was crazy. We heard footsteps and then we heard bang, bang, bang for 5 minutes straight.
Sarah, the crazy thing about it, I heard it come out of your room.
And Diana's sleeping in there.
She was sleeping. I heard the door open. I heard something come out, and Diane was asleep. She kept calling and calling. Then Sarah called Dennis.
I was like, Dennis, we need help. At first, I called Ryan, but Ryan was asleep. I was like, Ryan, I need help. I don't know what's happening.
Now, I have a question, because you were saying that you didn't have cabinets in your house and you were renovating. Were there cabinets at all at one time?
Yeah, so we think that it might have been a residual. Like,
Yeah.
not residual, but like at one time there was cabinets and he's just like banging the fucking shit out of it. Like,
Yeah, like somehow he's still able to manipulate what was there at that one time and make that noise.
It does
That's-
not like me.
that's,
He doesn't like me.
That's funny because I was at Belnemus Plantation with All Seeing Paranormal Society back when we first started investigating. It's an old plantation house, and if you look at pictures of like where we were standing, is a gravel driveway, right? But if you look at pictures from like the early 1900s, it's all grass. So we get an EVP of a person saying, "Get off my lawn," because they were
Sorry,
seeing.
my dad used to say that. It's a joke.
Such a dad thing to say too. So it's an old man thing. Get off my lawn. But it basically, yeah, get off. That's what they're saying. Get off my lawn. But they're saying,
Yep.
That's exactly how I describe grumpy old men. Like if I'm reading like a room or a photograph or something, and I'm like, there's a grumpy old man here.
Yeah.
You know, the kind that scream, "Get off my!"
No,
Yeah,
go away. That's what he says to me every time I come in there. Do you need anything? No, go away. He's just like crouched
Why don't
down
you
in
go
the
away?
freaking closet. Just okay, sir. I will go away.
So what happened, Ryan?
do what?
What was that?
Yeah.
The blog talk radio thing's cut off.
Uh-oh.
Now we're just in the after party. The
You
after.
were talking about, you were talking about being at a farmhouse.
No, I'm saying the person, the spirit, saw us on their lawn still, even though in reality we're on a gravel driveway. So they were still seeing the lawn as if it was still whenever they were alive, the early 1900s. I think that's why sometimes you'll see spirits walk through a wall that used to be, and there used to be a door there. They think there's still a door there.
That makes
The spirit
total sense
in your house,
that there's still cabinets.
you know, the cabinets that weren't there in his world, the cabinets are there, and he's banging them, and you're able to hear them.
Yeah, like
That
that
makes
energetic
total
pathway,
sense.
that energetic boundary.
Mhm.
So, like, if the wall was there, that's an energetic boundary they could bang on. Pathway. No doorway there, but it was there and they wore it down, and now they can still walk it.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Like it's crazy. And like just thinking about like I can pick up on like different energies and stuff, but I wish I could see like their realm and what they see, and like that would be the most. I don't know who can do that. I would love to like find somebody that can do that and teach me how to see that, because that would be the most badass of badass things.
The ultimate answer to the riddle, though,
Right. Like, what is that? And like, I always ask him, I'm like, is there a God? Is there Jesus? And like, no one ever answers me. I never get an answer.
It's
Ever.
not frustrating.
It's so annoying.
They say our bodies are just shells, so like that energy is just,
That's
Yeah.
what I believe in. Just energy. We are energy and it's got to go somewhere.
I heard a good quote today. It said, we are energy having a human experience,
Yep,
not the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yep.
And it's like I've actually explained to people, like, whose houses I've gone into and whatnot, because I have a like, this is how I kind of perceive like the way that they feel. because I'll say like some people are just a feeling, like they're not a person anymore. Like you're not going to see them, you might not hear them, but they're just a feeling. They're like a warm hug. Whereas others you encounter, they're literally like you can see the outline. It's like a person. And what the conclusion I've come to, just with the way I perceive information, is that because we are energy, we know we're energy. Like EKGs, EEGs, different like muscle tests and all that confirm we are energy in a flesh body. So I feel like some figure out right away when they pass away that they can just be omnipresent and we can be everywhere, like God, the universe, everything like that. And then, so that's the people who were just like a feeling.
Yeah.
And then the others that don't quite figure that out, they're concentrated because that's what their body was, like muscle memory. And that they're the ones that we like see and like interact with.
Yeah.
That's like always how it just like perceived to me. But like when I was explaining that to someone the other day, they were like, no, that actually makes sense because like electricity is in the atmosphere.
That's exactly what I believe in,
Yeah.
100% to a T. And it's funny
Yep.
because I feel like you and I are very similar with our abilities.
Yeah,
and
it sounds like it.
Yeah. So like that's how like my daughter believes in God. I do not, but I allow her to believe in whatever she wants to believe in.
Mhm.
I want to be very fluid in this house.
That's how
So-
I am with Bryson.
Yeah. And so I told her, I said, what mommy believes in is that we're all energy, and our energy, you know, it goes off to a different realm. Like when we're gone, it goes off to a different realm. But sometimes people like mommy can see it. People like you can see it because Isabella also has my abilities. Like she sees and speaks to spirits as well. She doesn't really understand it and she gets scared of it, but it's just that the way that you explained it is exactly like better than I could ever explain it to anybody. So
If I had to explain to somebody why I couldn't see their mother, why I was picking up things on their mother, but I wasn't explaining them the way that their other family members were. And I was like, she's a feeling. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. She's a feeling and they're apparitions. Like,
yeah.
And they pick and choose how they want to be seen and stuff. Like my dad comes in as like my best friend or my brother. He doesn't come in as my dad. Like my grandfather will come in as Papa, but he'll also be more of like a father figure than like my dad does.
Yeah.
I hate when they switch it up on you.
Yeah.
Like when they give you like 3 incarnations of what they looked like.
That's how it is.
And you're sitting there like, oh yeah, well, at one point in their life they might have wore glasses. Their hair might have been this way. And you're like, is this the same person? Like
like my Aunt Cam looks like in spirit looks like she did when she was like 20. She died.
That's how my dad.
Yeah. Yep. Your dad looks so young and he is so hot. Like her dad it's so funny. Like he's got a black cap on, a black hoodie, some pants. I don't know if they're Vans. They're like something that he's
They're
wearing.
Chuck Taylors.
Yes. And so like
Always.
and he's got like this stance. Like whenever he's real serious, he'll come to me and like stand right there and like we'll talk like just about serious things. And I'm like, all right, I gotta tell her. So I'm like talking to Heaven about it while he's just doing this stance. His like legs are spread apart, his arms are like crossed. Yes, his head is down, his hat is covering his face. And so I'm like, this is what's going on. And she was like, oh my God, that's my dad when he's so serious.
Sarah, Jenny told me that my dad, that he apparently loves messing with the paranormal equipment. And she was like, you definitely need to go to the garage and like let him play with your stuff because he will totally mess with it just because he thinks it's hilarious. And she was like, it's a different bond him and I can connect on.
Yeah. And they both have come to me and want me to help her like with her abilities because they want to be able to talk to her. Like they want to be able to communicate with her so bad. Like her papa is like, I just want to see my baby girl.
Isn't that so funny how family members do that? Like, yes, like I've had situations where I'm like, this person, that person, like they're gifted. Oh, well, why aren't they? Well, because you're not listening. You don't know what you're doing. They just want to talk to you. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And like she is definitely like she's so much more like powerful than what she like thinks that she is. Because the stuff that she's picked up on, I'm like, how are you doing this? Like, I'm not even picking up on some of the stuff that you're picking up on. Like that grumpy old man at the cabin. I was like, what the fuck? I don't like I know there's something in here, but I don't know what the fuck it is. Like it
Mhm.
was like
Didn't Isabella pick up on a man? I don't know if he was old or not. I just knew
we
she picked
saw
up on a
him
man.
walking back and forth, and like then Austin kept hearing the footsteps as it was walking back and forth, and she was just going like this with her fingers, just pointing out.
He
And
does
was
like to walk around up there. Like,
Is he
Yeah.
older?
yes, that's the
See,
guy that Dennis saw when he was in the sleeping bag. He looked
So-
up and saw
so-
the full body apparition.
Yeah. So what I was
Maybe
telling
older.
Sarah was in the cabin when you're in the kitchen area, if you look down the hallway, I kept telling her, I was like, there's an old man in there. There's an old man. Like, and I couldn't even describe him. Like I just saw like a non-scary, darkness in the room. It wasn't even like a shadow and just the energy. And I was just like, there's an old man in there. And I was like, she knows how I am. Like I'm not like, it's not considered nosy, but like I want to investigate.
Mhm.
So like I wanted to go in there, and she's like, "No," and I was like, "Sarah, you're going in there."
I
So
was
we ended
freaked
up,
out because the energy that it was, I couldn't see it, but the energy that it was giving off was like, I don't want you fucking back here. Do not come back here.
yeah, and I wanted to go knowing that, and then Sarah was like, "Oh, well, they said that there's not a lot of activity back there, or
I was
really too much in
lying.
the
I was like, I
cabin."
don't want to go back there.
We're too much in the cabin. I was like, "You're going back there." We went back there, and seriously, we stood in there, and I go, "Holy shit!" And she's like, "What?" I walk into the bathroom, and I go, "You can see Josh through the window." And the curtains, or not curtains, sorry, the blinds were closed, but you could still kind of see through them.
And
And
then,
Josh always falls asleep at locations, and like the cabin after going in the basement, he did not want to fall asleep. He started to close his eyes,
he's a
but he wasn't
skeptic.
like going to sleep. Yeah. And he's a big skeptic. And I was like, holy shit, like we can see Josh in there. So then like we were going to tell him, but then I stopped for a second and I was like, all right.
Go in the room.
I was like, there's either a portal in the bathroom or the closet. And I was like, I think it's the closet, but I'm not really sure. And then all of a sudden you start hearing boom, 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 and then the floor shakes. We heard drums.
Like drums.
And when the floor shook, we freaked out and we ran to go get Josh and we're like, come on.
the floor completely shook. Like it was like an earthquake inside of that room.
And I've never felt that before at a location.
Neither have I.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Guys, it is late.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I am
I
hungry
didn't
for some
realize the
French
time was.
toast.
Oh, yeah, you need your French toast nightcap.
Better refresh my French toast. Take a shot of shot of maple syrup before I go to bed.
Right?
Some French toast liqueur.
Some of the
Exactly,
sugar.
yes.
Maybe you need a sugar crash in order to go to sleep.
Yeah, maybe I should. I'll definitely
Coffee nap.
try that.
It worked.
How can people get in touch with you? How do people
On our Facebook, my number is there. So if there's anything that people like want to call me about, if there's anything that's happening at their house that they want us to investigate, we'll come. They can also message us on Facebook. We have TikTok and we have Instagram that they can message us on as well. And that's at Pungo Paranormal.
PUNGO?
Paranormal.
PUNGO, yep.
Paranormal.
Go.
That's
Thank
actually
you.
fun to say. That's going to stick in a lot of people's heads.
Pungo
It-
Paranormal.
It came because
Heaven's
we
idea.
live close to the Pungo area.
Okay.
And I don't know if y'all have heard of the Witch of Pungo.
That's
It's soothing.
That's Virginia
Especially-
Beach area, right?
Yeah.
I live
yep.
in Richmond, but she lives in Virginia Beach.
Yep.
Thank you, CJ Momo, Chris Panchero, CR Zarn for manning the chat, Barb Bootsy for your comments. We appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Rhonda, Kristen, everybody who showed up to check us out. Thank you, Dana. How'd you like co-hosting tonight?
Well, I didn't have to pretend to be a professional.
We're definitely not professionals here.
I'm far from it.
We're just having a good time. And Heaven, Sarah, thank you guys for coming on the show and hanging out with us tonight. Looking forward to having you guys back at the cabin.
Yeah.
Are you going to come out to the toy drive, Sarah?
I have
Awesome.
work. I want to come.
I have my uncle, Kevin. He decided to have the family Christmas party that night, starting at 5:00, and it's my dad's side of the family. So I really can't tell him that I can't be there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I've got to do that. So I'll be there, but I'll just be late to it, and we've got to get Dana to come down, and we'll have a meetup at the cabin next year.
I'll grab Jeff. Bring my husband. Oh, well, I mean, according to Ryan, I'm like a 30-minute drive, but it's really more like 5 hours. 4 hours.
5 hours. 5 hours is near 30 minutes.
Are you like in Pennsylvania or something?
Yeah, I'm in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So depending
on he was just there. How far are you from Gettysburg?
Where?
How far are you from Gettysburg?
Like an hour and a half.
Well, there you go. You guys can meet up in Gettysburg.
Yes,
Pennsylvania accent. I knew I heard it.
Yeah.
I heard an accent, but I didn't think Pennsylvania. But when he said 5 hours, I was like, I bet you it's Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I definitely have the PA accent. I actually have a very strong Philly accent when I'm not conscious of it. But
it's definitely
working in customer service, I've been told some negative things about myself for my Philly accent, so I try to disguise it.
Oh, wow. Well, we're Eagles fans, so.
Oh,
There you go.
best friends, okay? Like we're just. I'm going to be messaging you. You're going to be like, "Who's this weirdo?"
Definitely, I'm down.
We did a podcast together.
It's your third sister. It's your third sister.
Hey, it's a possibility.
You never know what happened in our past lives.
Exactly.
Or maybe we do. We don't know.
We need to add.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for coming on. Everybody, thanks for watching. We'll have you guys back on the show, and we'll continue the conversation.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.